So what's the significance of these new guidelines? Take us through them.
Good morning, Nara. Well, remember, these guidelines were the political football. At first, when the CDC wanted to release something, the White House deemed they were too prescriptive. We now have the CDC releasing some guidelines for states that are going through these phased reopenings. And what they really encourage are things like social distancing, maintaining best case practices for washing hands, and how to spot potential symptoms. For bars and restaurants, things like spacing out tables, limiting party size. For mass transit, limit routes to and from transmission areas before increasing to full service, and also spacing out seats. So kind of things we've all been talking about the past few weeks. This is going to come into play in New York, Nara. New York State, 5 of the 10 regions will begin opening. The stay-at-home order ends today on Friday, but not so quick for New York City, Long Island, and Western New York, the epicenter, the tri-state area that's been hit by the pandemic. That will remain shut for the foreseeable future. One thing, though, Nara, that might get some traders excited, the New York Stock Exchange, which has been shut for about 2 months, will reopen their doors May 26th with a small contingent of floor brokers in protective masks partially open for some time there.
Yeah, fair enough, Annmarie. We cling to any signs of light at the end of the tunnel, don't we? Speaking, though, of a tunnel that still seems pretty long, if we turn to US-China relations, I mean, this might also be playing slightly into the risk-off sentiment, some tough rhetoric from President Trump. Does it look like just rhetoric at this point, or are these relations really souring?
It's a really good question, Nara, but you have to think this is a bombshell in Beijing. The President of the United States saying he does not want to talk to his Chinese counterpart, Xi Jinping. He also said the U.S. would save some $500 billion if it cut off ties with China. It seemed like, Nara, just a matter of time. We've been looking through this rhetoric every day. Just a matter of time that the relationship would sour. But now it's ever more clear that this relationship is on thin ice. And what a 180 from January, when President Donald Trump was inking that trade deal, talking about the fact that the ties were at the best they've ever been between the two. Now, all of these worries are really being drudged up. We have visas as one issue, cyberspace, journalists being expelled, also the debate on the status of the democratically run Taiwan. All of these disputes being resurrected, and Nara, I have to tell you, get ready. This is going to be the theme from now until November. It's now not just President Donald Trump talking about the virus and blaming China, but also we're hearing from the presumptive Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, also making noise about China. Going into November, COVID and China will dominate this election, Nara.